And we continue with our press briefing. Today marks day 27 since the deadly suicide attacks that occurred at CPS and Parliament Avenue. Our counter-terror teams continue to carry out joint operations that are aimed at deterring, disrupting, and dismantling the ADF terror network within the country. We've had previous successful operations. This week we don't have significant information. There were no major arrests made or recoveries, but the operations continue, and our teams continue to build on the intelligence that they have gathered. But the public should know that with our operations inside the DRC and also here within the country are aimed at dismantling this terror network once and for all. However, the threats still exist of terrorism, as well as the threats of COVID-19 still exist in the country, which calls for vigilance. In many cases, despite these press briefings and advisories that we give to the public, you see that people are still complacent. You visit several soft places where we have restaurants and businesses, you go to the taxi parks, you still see that there are some security gaps and flaws in the management of these soft places, which is not good. Now, we want to also come out and caution the public during this festive season. You're aware we are in the festive month of December, which attracts a lot of activities, including Thanksgiving. Families get together during this period. We have people going on holidays, traveling, those who have organized wedding parties, baptism, those who are going on shopping, and a number of business transactions do take place during this period. Now, all these activities give opportunity to criminals to steal, to cheat, to rob, and even scam or con members of the public of their hard-earned incomes or even commodities. Now, we've received complaints from people who are receiving calls or even texts by SMS from fraudsters who claim to be employers for those who are employed. Like some of our security officers have fallen victim where somebody uses a landline that is similar to some of those that we do have, and then portrays himself as a director, and once he establishes that the officer is talking to doesn't have a passport, so he puts up a request of about 600,000 to process an express passport for the officer so that they can travel to Switzerland in January for a leadership course organized by the Swiss police. So these frauds have been there. One or two officers have fallen victim, but outside this, you find that even members of the public are being defrauded during this period. People come up with all sorts of tricks, and then they convince you, and they get to defraud you. Others are being defrauded by persons who call claiming that they are receiving Christmas gifts or packages. This is an old trick. It used to be very common, where they claim that there's a package coming through the airport, but now they use Nairobi. Somebody claims I'm in Nairobi, there's a package which is coming to Kampala. Please go ahead and receive it from me, I'll come and get the package with you. So those instances of fraud using Christmas gifts or packages is there. Other reports revolve around the buying and selling of commodities online, where people pay for goods which they do not receive, or even pay. They pay for the supply. Some of them supply these goods and commodities with the promise that they are going to send the money, and they don't receive the payment. So those who are engaging in these online transactions need to be very, very careful. A lot of fraud is taking place. Then misleading social media scams with items for sale from small businesses. The person says, I have these flasks and shoes. Most of those small items that move a lot during this period. Now, there's a danger that you'll receive items that are counterfeit or very much different from the one that is advertised. So we need to be careful. Then the festive season also comes up with the pop-up holiday events where you find scammers are creating fake event pages that we are organizing this event at this place, at this beach, and so on and so forth. Remember, beaches are still not open, and a number of entertainment places. So you are going to get people who are coming up with fake event pages of entertainment, claiming that we shall start from midday up to 7 p.m. 7 p.m. you're already in the curfew time. So don't find yourself in the wrong side of the law, of the curfew, during this period. Then there's a danger of look-alike websites, especially for utility services like electricity, water, and so on, where you find somebody like National Water and Sewerage Corporation had to come out and stamp as fake an advert that was going around and people portraying very attractive rates for their services. So they had to come up and stamp it as fake. So these look-alike websites are there where people come out to defraud people. So I want to emphasize that no matter how good or profitable a deal or transaction may be, it's important to conduct very sufficient due diligence or double-check the source where that information is coming from. We want to advise the public to avoid making immediate payments via mobile money or other cashless transactions before verifying that transaction, and also to jealously guard their personal information or details so that that information is not stolen. Then where the fraudsters or the person trying to engage you is demanding for a meeting, please look for a meeting place that is not risky, a meeting place that is secure. You can even tell them, no, you come and we meet here near CPS police station. Wherever you mention a police station, the phones tend to go off, or ask to be escorted by a police officer. You reduce, not all of us are very vigilant. There are those who have newly acquired these phones, SIM cards. So those are the ones they target. Like those who have opened, who have just acquired email accounts. They monitor those who have newly acquired these accounts, and those are the ones whom they target and try to fleece. So let us try to be very careful during this period. Now, we also needed to talk about ambush attacks against security personnel on duty. In registered 4 serious incidents of senseless attacks on security personnel in the areas of Busunju, Wakiso, Soroti, and Barara. In these 4 months, a total of 6 security personnel, 4 police officers, and 2 LDUs were attacked. All the 4 police officers were murdered, while the 2 LDUs escaped with serious injuries. Now, in these attacks, we noted that the motivation was theft of of guns. In those 4 attacks, 6 guns were robbed. And so far, we've recovered only 2, including the one that was robbed from our OC in Ruharo, who was murdered. But by the time we recovered that gun of Mbarara, it had really done very much damage in the aggravated robberies that were conducted. So efforts are in place to recover the 4 remaining guns. Now the public should know that such ambush attacks and theft of guns from security personnel is an extreme form of violence that can be life-threatening. You who is attacking the police officers, or even the police officers who are attacked, are under very dangerous threats that can even claim lives, like the 4 police officers who died. And we are trying to find out whether this is something that is in form of organized, because targeting police guns at 4 different places, then we need to, is there somebody who is interested in harvesting guns from soft targets, police officers who are vulnerable, like riding solely, riding motorcycles or bicycles like in Soroti, then the 2 who were lured, then the OC who was vulnerable in Mbarara. So we are trying to find out if this is some organized arrangement of getting guns from security. But so far there appear to be isolated incidents. Because if you look at Mbarara, it was every gun that is stolen is directed towards crime, attacking mobile money agents, other soft spots, business dealers, and so on and so forth. So as we mourn the 4 police officers, and we also pray for the quick recovery of the 2 LDUs who were injured, and wish to inform the public that our commitment to protect and serve the public is stronger. Remember, these are officers who dedicated themselves and committed their lives to serving the public under whatever situation. We shall continue running towards danger, responding to disturbance calls in order to safeguard Ugandans. Therefore, any attack on security personnel is an attack on the community, and that is why we call upon the community in Busunju, the community in Wakiso, in Soroti to cooperate with us and avail us with information on threats to officer safety, and also information that can help lead to the recovery of the 4 guns that are still missing. So we've also reviewed these incidents as top leadership at police headquarters, and the Director of Operations issued additional measures on how to reduce these violent attacks and counter threats against police officers.